This is Don Howe, and the topic for this golden nugget is remembering and using names. Frank Bettgers said that he was surprised at the large number of people who say they can't remember names, and yet they don't feel like they can do anything about it. His suggestion was to make it a game, turn it into a hobby, make it a challenge to remember names. He said that whenever you meet a person, use the initials IRA to remind yourself of the words impression, repetition, and association. IRA. I stands for impression, and if you want to remember a person's name, make sure to get a clear impression of the person's name and their face. I like to ask them, is this how you spell your name? Even if it's Bob, I might say, is that B-O-B or B-O-B-B? You see, if I ask them how to spell their name, I have a better chance of remembering it. I-R-A. R stands for repetition. Repeat the person's name at short intervals, and if possible, use his or her name several times. I-R-A. The A stands for association. Try to associate the person's name with an action picture. Going back to my example of Bob, if the person's name is Bob, try to picture him bobbing for apples, or maybe on a bobsled. If the person's name is Mary, think of him getting married, or picture him as the Virgin Mary holding the baby Jesus. In other words, figure out a way to associate their name with something, with anything, and you'll have a better chance of remembering it, especially if you include impression and repetition. For me, whenever possible, I try to write down the person's name. That way, I have a much better chance of remembering it. And I try to use their name often because a person's name is music to their own ears. Almost everybody loves to hear their name, and therefore, try to use their name often. John Maxwell is a master at using someone's name, and as a result, he makes people feel special. I've spent many hours just watching John Maxwell interact with people because that's how I learn. That's how I grow. John can use a person's name 5 or 6 times in less than a minute, and yet he does it so naturally that it doesn't seem like he's overdoing it. Yes, I try to follow John Maxwell's example when it comes to using a person's name often. How about you? Do you remember names? Better yet, do you use a person's name when you're talking to them? If you're given enough time, will your ability to remember names and use them be one of the reasons why everybody will say that you are a winner?
Thank you for listening to this Golden Nugget by Don Howe. To learn more about Don's free sales success system or to have a free success audio like this one sent to you each weekday, please visit donhowsuccess.com. That's DonHowesuccess.com.